Welcome to Gratitude Sunday, friends and creators. Well, as things go, I didn't get to do Gratitude Sunday when I thought I would be able to, like I told you in the last video. I want to thank everyone who reached out in reference to dealing with my loss in that last video. I'm happy to have presented that because I feel free now to move forward and share with you. So the Phoenix years indeed. All right, so I want to jump right in. I did really good keeping up to Christmas. So really I have the last week to finish. I'm looking forward to doing a walkthrough with you of December. And what I've done is I have my pictures already cut out. I have faces redacted to protect the minors and those of the innocent. I've put out some ephemera. I had made ornaments as gifts this year for his family. I printed out some photos with my late husband and us and made ornaments. I have to tell you, there's words I have to get used to. Late husband and widow. The first time I heard the word widow, I was like, oh yeah, I'm that, aren't I? Yeah, so there's a little bit of getting used to these things. Here's the other thing I wanted to say. I realized I'm a slow speaker, especially when I'm trying to think. And I don't know about you, but when I watch other people's content, you know there's a little speed button like down in the settings. So if you want to watch videos at a quicker pace, you can. I do it when I watch videos. I invite you to watch me in fast pace too, because I can talk real slow sometimes. Anyway, just wanted to point out that little tidbit of information in case you didn't know. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so ephemera. Yeah, and stickers. Like I have this Snoopy sticker I don't want to forget about. This is my one of these sticker booky things. So I have the Lord of the Rings. Those of you who are following, I've still been doing those challenges. Some free stickers I got that you saw in that haul video. In my comeback video series, I took all those Totoro, now that I know his name, stickers and stuck them in here. So I have that sticker out so I don't forget to use it. Plus some other Snoopy stickers. I have a circle here. I could make this to look like an ornament and maybe put a picture in the center. So I have that out. Plus the chock full of Christmas themed and holiday themed stickers. All right. So one year I was working with an artist and she was asking me, we had put a workshop together and she wanted to know what words of wisdom I could give to the people coming to the workshop. And I had said that it's not always easy. Like when you're looking at the blank page or you have all this ephemera and stuff to work with, that putting the page together is sometimes difficult. And it was interesting because she didn't want me to share that information because she thought it would intimidate people. But I think it's quite the opposite. I think it gives you a permission slip, so to speak, to know that sometimes I get disheartened when I'm sitting with all this in front of me because I don't know what to do first. And when confronted with that feeling, sometimes you want to just walk away because it's easier to be like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go do something else. But I find that that's why this version of kind of memory keeping and scrapbooking works for me, because it's sloppy. It doesn't need to be perfect. So I think what I would do right now is I'll double check to see which one of these pictures fits in the weekend. And so when my late husband's family was up, we had some fun because it had snowed, and we did some sledding down our driveway. So since I know these pictures go here, but I also know, I think those are the only two pictures I printed out, which is a continuation of from celebrating Christmas with them. So I think maybe this guy can go down here. And then I will have used it for Christmas. I'll be excited. I think that's the way to go. So sometimes what I'm saying is just find the pictures and maybe glue it down. And it depends on how much time you have too. Like we're already, it's the 7th today. So I'm creeping up to like the next Gratitude Sunday for the week we're living in now. Unless, of course, you want to try and maybe decorate it and use some ephemera. But it all depends on how much time you have. In the caregiving world, you might only have 10, 15 minutes to quick visit. Just stick the pictures in there because you will be happier that you got the memory in the book than you will be if you look at an empty page and go, God, I haven't done that yet, because you feel like you want to try and make it pretty. So if I want to sit here and like use this and maybe think of how I can fit this picture inside this little cutout left for making the ornaments, sometimes that takes mental space that we don't have. So I'm giving you permission to just slap some pictures in the Memory Keeper book, because again, you would just be happy. Like I'm happy that I can look back and I think it's out of, nope, they're up there. Those are 2 quarters worth. They're done. They've got pictures in them. They might not look like one of these well-designed scrapbook pages, but I can pick up any one of those books right now and know what I did in that week. It's done. It's complete. So give yourself permission. Like I'm going to right now, I'm just going to take these and grab my glue. I can't wait to give you guys a walkthrough of the new setup. So it's still a work in progress, but it very naturally kind of fit certain things. So in the old studio, right, I used to record, there was a wall in front of me. So things like my scissors and the hole punch were all hanging up right in front of me so I could just reach for them. It was like, what do I do with all this empty space? So I'm loving these purse organizer bags that you tend to stick in a purse. So every time you want to change out a purse, you just pull out the insert and put it in another purse. This has been working perfect for me with scissors, pens, the tweezers that I normally use. I might as well get them ready. I did cutting already, so I don't need that. And because it was kind of flopsy-mopsy, I took this like industrial stapler and stuck it in the bottom because, hey, I'll need it, but at least it gave it a solid base. And of course, guys, a Snoopy one for those, was it Loungefly that are offered through Box Lunch, those backpacks that you can get. This is a Snoopy backpack insert. Oops. Isn't that awesome? So, and this one too, so it wouldn't be flopsy-mopsy. On the base of this one, see how it wants to lay over? I put the tape dispenser in there because it's something I'll need at some point. But now it's in there and it stands up straight. All right, let's get to this. Let's get to this. Oh, isn't that funny? I stood that Snoopy one up and it just fell over. Guys, what are your plans for saving your Christmas memories? What would you like to share about your holidays? I'd love to hear it. Even if it's frustrations with how you haven't gotten to save your Christmas pictures yet. Oh, Barbara, save room for the sticker. You didn't save room for the sticker and you said you would. Oh, I have to give a shout out to Cheryl. Cheryl, I got your Christmas card, thank you. And I got your Snoopy gifts in it. At some point I will share them. Is this one stuck already? See, here's another permission slip. Give you permission to screw up and start over. Here's another thing I can share with you. My sister, who does quilting, she made me this. It's supposed to be a trash bag. Look, it's on a spring. So like you could fold it away if you wanted to. But instead of using it like a trash bag, because I tend to use my box here that says reminder, you are enough, to grab my scraps. I don't know how many times I go looking for a paper towel to do something to clean up a spill. So that's what I have in here are towels, and it works perfect. So I can just grab a towel like now when I need one. She's so smart. She gave me scrap fabric from the quilting that she did for me. I'll have to show you what other things she made. There's just so much show and tell I could do. It's just been so long. All in good time, friends, all in good time. Okay, I can close this up now because that was the only sticker in here I wanted to use. I'm watching my time today because I'm having lunch with a friend today. So I'm going to do what I can until it's time to leave and then come back. All right, what other pictures do I have? I think I can flip this over, although I'm still a little worried about that. So why don't I grab my silicone mats, which I should have out anyway to protect my beautiful tabletop. What did I cleaned it and didn't put it back? That doesn't sound like me at all. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, good thing I looked in this drawer. I forgot I have poinsettias. I have these cute buttons I picked up. Oh, just the lighting. Can you see those buttons? Cute little snowmen. Is it open? Oh, it is. So I think the 3D printer world has created opportunities for people to make fun things like these snowman buttons. We'll put them out. They'll be cute with this picture. I don't mind that they're three-dimensional. I mean, they're flat enough. Well, this camera, oh, see, they're flat enough. I put enough ephemera in these books that they're already chunky. I mean, look at how nice and chunky that is. All right, what was I doing? Oh, I was going to put something here because I was worried about this. But that's already dry. So I have Christmas ornaments that have been in my family since, as far as I can remember, as long as I can remember. They're World War II vintage. At least I believe these are. But the size of them and the nature of them, when I would hang them on my Christmas tree, you could never see them. And I wanted to make a garland with them on it. And last year I set them out to do that. And of course, it never got done. I didn't have the time, energy, space to do it. So this year, I feel like it was the eve of New Year's Eve. And it was just a beautiful, quiet night here in the house. And I sat at my new table and I laid out these wooden beads. I painted some of them green and red, but mostly went with the natural wood. And I strung out and created this wonderful garland with these ornaments and then hung them in front of my window where you can see them so easily. I'm so happy with how this garland came out. It came out just as I expected, if not better. And the beauty of it was that I had everything I needed. I had always told myself, like that's what I kept hearing when I was taking care of my husband, was I didn't need more supplies. I have an art store's worth of supplies almost. What I needed was the time and the space to play with them. And so to be in that moment where it was quiet, no phone calls, night had set in, and I could just sit here. I had the wood stove going, the fire crackling, and I was able to just lay out this project and do it at my own pace, and then to have it come to fruition, it was wonderful. I love that I had this silk ribbon to use to make them. Anyway, the Phoenix years, I can get used to this. It's nice. Survivor's guilt alert. Every time I start thinking about how wonderful it is to be enjoying my space without the conversation of caregiving, I tend to slip into a little bit of survivor's guilt. Let's see. Here's the finished product. I feel like I want to put it up here at the top and then have these close-ups of me making it. Even though, like in the timeline, it would be the making of it and then the finished product. I don't know. I like this. I think I'm going to go with that. And I keep looking over, right? I keep looking over at this ephemera. I should open this up and lay these out, right? Let's take a second here. Because I feel like I want to be a little fancy schmancy, even though I want to get it done. This is from a scrapbook paper, and I cut out all the little Christmas things, like maybe the bells would be fun. maybe along the side here. Snow globe, mittens, cinnamon sticks, baubles. No. There really aren't any bells on this. Fa la 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 la. No, I'm thinking that if this is here and that is there, what if we did like a little succession of bells? Like that. That kind of looks cool, right? Do I add the little jingle bells? I mean, that's kind of obvious, isn't it? I like where that is right now before they fall off somewhere. Let's glue them right down. I should just take the page out of the book, right? Because it's doing this weird curvy thing. Which I might do that. But right now, I like the way these look. They never quite fall exactly the way I had them. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's cool. And I like how I have a very wide opening on my glue bottle there. I tend to put out more than I need. I like how this one is square. These are square and this one's rounded edges. So for both Christmas and New Year's, what I did was a series of small visits to friends. So before the holiday came, I did like this little tour, like Barbara was on tour, and I went and visited friends and celebrated small little Christmases with them. It was just a more intimate setting. That friend and I in each of those moments could go through, the loss of my husband and the celebration of the holiday. I really liked that. But the goal of that was so that on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I wanted my space to myself alone here in the house. And it worked out perfectly. It was just so healthy for my soul and my heart to know that I made some visits and that I could just be in my space. It worked out great. And I still have more visits to make. The Barber Tour is continuing into January. But it's at a pace that I'm comfortable with. Part of the whole recovery process is learning how to set your boundaries and being able to say no and to reclaim your life back, because how many years my life has been based on taking care of someone else and that timeline. And Barbara had to make sacrifices out of love, out of care, out of concern, but they were still sacrifices, having to try and fit your life into this schedule, and then not being able to leave the house and having to be here all the time. So the Phoenix years, it's wonderful that friends understand a no to now does not mean a no to you, or maybe a no to a request for help for a certain thing that you're asking for help with. The no is to that thing. It's not to you, right? There's a way to still let you know that, yes, I'm there. I'm still your friend. I just have to say no to this thing right now, and let's reschedule for something else. And that can be emotionally difficult internally until you realize that it isn't a no to them. You still love them. It's still a yes for them. It's just a no, let's reschedule. But once you start doing that, the lighter I started to feel, to know that I can have some sovereignty around who I am and what I'm up to. I hope, I know that if you're watching and listening, it's because you're not only here for the technique, it's because the relatability and the validation that you may be receiving by me sharing. That's why I love to be here and I love to share. Let's get back to the work though, right? God. It's just so important for us to share our stories so that we don't feel alone. And the whole reason I went down that whole conversation was because New Year's Eve, I have pictures here of Mama Cat and I made sarsaparilla spritzers. Basically, I have some leftover sarsaparilla from when I used to drink soda, you know, like special occasion, but the sugar, too much sugar. But I mixed it with some plain seltzer water, and so it wasn't as sweet, more seltzer than sarsaparilla, which I love. I made these sarsaparilla spritzers to drink on New Year's Eve. And, you know, I'm going to have to, just add pictures. Yeah, so having that and celebrating my little New Year's Eve with our Bayberry candles. I don't know how many of you have that tradition. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, it's out of reach. I have the card that comes with the Bayberry candles. Stand by. I may have to invest in a wireless microphone because it's the only thing that really tethers me to the table here. We'll see. I never heard of this tradition. I'm going to have to add like a light or something up by the camera. I never heard of this tradition until I came into my late husband's life. He was the one that introduced me to it. A bayberry candle burnt to the socket brings food to the larder and gold to the pocket. So, in other words, if you burn your bayberry candles for good luck in the new year, so like New Year's Eve into the new year, you burn these candles and let them burn right down to the socket. It brings you peace and good fortune to you and your loved ones. So, loved ones, which you all are, I burned bayberry for you. Have you guys heard of this? Do you do this? Let me know down in the comments. It's something I've enjoyed doing every year. It always turns out that they don't quite burn down after we watch the ball drop, so I put the candlesticks in the bathtub. No water in it or anything, but I just feel like that's a safe space to let a candle burn and go to bed. So far, so good. Yeah, so I don't have regular network cable anymore. I do everything by streaming or YouTube. But you have to remember that there's a time delay. So even though I was watching in the very last minutes the ball come down in New York City, that I had to celebrate and enjoy that midnight hour like 10 seconds before the actual before the video. Like, I can't speak. So midnight came before the video actually showed me New Year's. The tradition that my mother started just before she passed on New Year's Eve, I guess to kind of kill time, excuse me, is to watch An Affair to Remember with Cary Grant, and then watch Sleepless in Seattle, because it plays off of An Affair to Remember. And I love it because I love both those movies. And I love that in Sleepless in Seattle, they even make fun of, how they're An Affair to Remember, how it's a chick flick. Anyway, so I did that New Year's Eve, quiet, all by myself, watched both those movies. My husband didn't like the tradition, so I had stopped doing it, because they're chick flicks. So it was so wonderful to not only be able to do it, but to be able to do it and sit and enjoy it without any kind of snarky comments or anything. So intermission between the movies, made myself some popcorn with pumpkin seeds and cashews in it. And anyhow, that's how I brought in the New Year's, because Sleepless in Seattle finished like 15 minutes before the ball dropped. It was perfect. It just was perfect. All right, I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, because I'm going to splice the footage together, but I have to stop and get ready for my lunch date. I'm going to go do that, and then probably in the snap of a finger, I'll be back with you. See you soon. Hello. I enjoyed an extended lunch. I got some errands run. And here it is, day 2 of Gratitude Sunday. Hey, that's life, but at least at this point, it's because I chose to extend my day and chose to record today instead of yesterday when I got back. So I looked at footage last night, and first of all, I realized I'm going to have to do some lighting arrangements that are a little bit better, but this is a work in progress, and I'm bringing you along for the ride. So, just getting myself settled. I just got a phone call from one of the cancer wellness centers that didn't know that my husband had passed. And every time you have to let somebody know, there's a whole emotional process you have to go through, because now you have to live in that person's moment of realization and grief. So it's just a process. There are still people in my life that I know don't know yet, and I've been postponing being in that conversation just because it puts me in that environment again where I have to be there for them. And I don't know that I always have the strength for that. And I'm sharing that with you because, again, my channel is about sharing this journey so that, if you have to go through this, you understand or you feel validated. So I'm just a little rattled at the moment. But that's why I'm here, because this is what grounds me. All right. I think I realized, let's go down here, that I'm at the end of the year with my photographs. So I think what I would like to do is what I had started last year, this idea that I bring you along to a certain point, but then off camera, I'm going to do my journaling and finishing touches. And then in next week's Gratitude Sunday, I'll bring you back to see what was accomplished. So to finish this out, what I'd like to do is a walkthrough of December, show you some techniques I used, maybe share some stories, and also show you how I've been incorporating fabric into the monthly calendar area. And then I'll leave it at that. And then I'll just come back with some more videos because there's just so much to share. And this is my first full video since I'm back. And, you know, it's like I still look at this work in progress behind me, the VHS DVD library that's going to be moved out. And, you know, as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. So, yeah, let's just do some sharing. Let me do a walkthrough of December with you, and we'll take it from there. Okay? Okay. All right. Actually, let me go to November and show you how I did this November spread. So, make sure I don't have to redact. I would have to redact. Okay. So this is where the calendar page would normally be. I think at one point I was doing that doodle a day in gratitude of the days. So this page is this page in November. But I've been enjoying my fabric collection because I love the tactile feel of fabric. And I found this wonderful collection with the pumpkins. Let's adjust the lighting here. The pumpkins is one fabric, this other fabric in the back, the leaves. And again, here, I'm going to have to shoot some B-roll. So I think the best way to do this is I'm going to grab my phone here, because instead of trying to lift the book up to this camera up here, which doesn't have wonderful lighting at the moment, I'm going to take my phone and show you. It's on record, yep. I'm going to show you how I've been using these flat back charms or buttons in my spread. Look at that hologram sticker. Isn't that fun? This is a napkin. So what I did first was put down the fabric. This fabric right here got put down on the page first. And then this napkin that my sister gave me a stack of, I put that. Now when you're working with napkins, instead of putting the glue on the napkin, I spread the glue on the fabric and laid the napkin down on top of it. But the colors are just so wonderful that you can barely see where the napkin ends, which it doesn't end there, right? That's the glue, but it is hidden underneath the sticker and the letter. Like you can barely see where the napkin ends and the fabric begins. I especially don't mind using these flat back gems on the outside corner because it's hard to bulk up near the binding in the center, but to bulk it up out on the edges, I just think that's so fun. Let's see. So I made myself a little container of Christmas items, so every time I wanted to do Christmas, I would come to this bin. But essentially, essentially, what I've done here is what's going to happen back here. So November-ish, I'll probably shift out of the orange and fall colors and start putting these Christmas, Christmas washi, or even the ribbon or Christmas fabrics. I have a wonderful collection of different Christmas fabrics here. That's what's going to wind up on the shelves back here. So where most of it is going to be static, remain the same with colors, you know, red paints, orange paints, you know, the whole rainbow deal. I want to leave the middle section on both sides to be thematic. So all of this Christmas stuff would be in that section. So as I'm working pages, I just have to turn around and look and be like, oh yes, they have this wonderful fabric, and ooh, yeah. Yeah. See, here's some, don't know which camera to use. Right? Some more fabrics that would be fun to pull out. Let's see, I brought this out because this fabric right here, I just think it's stunning. The tactile quality just ticks all the boxes for me. I think if I show it up on this camera, we might have better luck. It's very dimensional. It almost looks like branches, winter branches. I found this in the scrap pile over at my fabric shop and scooped it up. God, it's just so lovely. All right. So I've been very eager to do my this December page with this and see what other things I can add to that. So I think I'll make that a separate video, and for now I'll just walk you through my December pages. Still doing flip outs to create extra space, talking about Christmas at Rockefeller and how that's when I waited to turn my Christmas tree on, the indoor and the outdoor. I had a fabulous trip with my friend Cherie out to Longwood Gardens. I've been wanting to experience the Longwood Gardens Christmas spectacular that they do all the time. It's a botanical gardens, it's gorgeous, and at night it turns into a light show. And I was delighted to have the freedom to go, and it just turned out that my friend Cherie could meet me there. And we spent all day there, starting with lunch and visiting all the different conservatories during the day. And then nighttime came after a little dinner snack, and we just enjoyed the lights. And I have some Happy Planner pages, like the dark black, and it had its own little tab, which I really like. And this is a postcard from them. This is one of their postcards as well. And there's something about, because it's a postcard, I didn't want it glued in the page. So let's see, still working with this new setup. I know I can zoom in. There we go. That I did not want to glue it in. So I created my own corners. For the life of me, of course, I know I have pre-made corners. Couldn't find them. So I basically took black strips of paper and did a fold like that. Right? A strip of paper, down and down. Cut it. Glue it. And the secret to that is to figure out where you want the first corner, tuck your card in, and then slip the other corner in and glue it carefully, right, on the back, while you still have the postcard in there, trying not to get glue on the back of the postcard. Because then once you know where your two opposite corners are set and it's fit snug, then you can put these in their corner using your postcard as the guide. All right. Using the bag. It was a big bag. I'll zoom back out. Ooh, I think I have the wood stove a little hot today. I'm sweating. So this was a large bag, but I folded it in on itself and also made this flap and put the hole punch here. But now it can hold all the extra garden maps, their holiday pamphlets, and it's where I was able to put the pictures, did journaling right on the bag. Used black paper because we went into the nighttime. I have a brand new printer that uses 6 canisters of ink. I did one of those, I bought myself one of those mega tanks. Yeah, I think it was about time. Plus my other printer was starting to get wonky and giving me error messages. So I did a mega tank. It's the Canon Pixma G620. And it has extra black inks into it so that your black night pictures like this come out superb. So my picture here of the front of the conservatory at night, I feel like this picture is even better than their postcards, right? So here's one of my own pictures again in this same area at this new conservatory they have, but I love the blacks in my photo. So use resources that you have, like the paper bag. Play around with it, see how it folds, and use that to your advantage. All right, I started a clean out process of my late husband's items, and I was just sticking some memorabilia right in the book here and talking about how I was organizing, still using a flip out washi tape along the edge. Yep. Using business cards for the flip outs and still sharing my collection of tea whenever I go out. I wind up having to use cellophane tape to keep them on because these bags glue and these tea bag wrapper thingies don't stick well with glue. I have pictures in here of building this table. I even pulled out, I made a copy of the instruction booklet. I mean, it was a 30-page booklet to put this table that I'm using together. And it's fun because they had these 2 little characters here to say this is a 2-adult assembly. And I said, or 1 resourceful, creative, problem-solving artist with power tools and ingenuity. So I did. I built this table all by myself. I'm actually enjoying this. It's like a puzzle. And when you have the parts laid out like this, it's not bad because it tells you at the top. Like we're going to need 2 of number A, 4 of letter B, 4 of letter D. So what I've been doing is putting, there's 2, there's 4, there's 2, because this way, if after I'm done following the directions, if I have any parts left over there, I know I forgot something. But it's coming along. Used my brains instead of my brawn. Well, I think it was a combination of both, really. The other share that I should do with you is Happy Planner had a happy box this year. Of course, it was Snoopy themed. I love this. I absolutely love this. I was not in a position to do a box opening, but I did capture some pictures Maybe in one of these discussions I can show you some of the goodies that came in this happy box. Look at this, even the metal. Let's see, how are you going to see that? I might have to use this camera again. Can we see that the metal, hold on, the metal discs are Snoopy. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I stick my finger in there, see Snoopy. Ah, yes, my Snoopy love. Look, I have the mic. Hopefully it's not getting brushed too many times. Make it look like Snoopy's using the mic. In that pack, though, were these notepads that I've stuck this picture on from a road trip that I took. The washi tape, Snoopy washi tape, pictures of the table finally assembled. All right, we have to have a serious discussion here because we don't do this in Pennsylvania, but apparently New York, New Jersey is doing this where you wrap your vehicles in Christmas lights. I'm stunned. Okay, it's beautiful. Maybe I would expect it in a Christmas parade, but we're talking about people doing this and just driving around. And I have to tell you, when I passed this cement mixer out on the highway, it was such a distraction. It was awesome. It was great, but I could tell that the traffic and the way it maneuvered was very distracted by this thing. It was like, okay, everybody, eyes on the road. I don't know. Tell me about it. Do you decorate your car? How do you open the door? Are battery powered? Solar powered? The creative in me loves it, wants to know more. The practical in me is like, please be careful. That's the caregiver mindset kicking in. If you do this, share this with me. If you have pictures, go over to Instagram, my Laughsalot Studios Instagram, and share pictures with me. I'd love to see your car decked out in lights, okay? I've been using envelopes to collect receipts from when I go out shopping. I had a fantastic thrifting couple of days out in Lancaster, and I used the cover of the Lancaster County book and just covered it up with my own pictures of the day. And there's another tea bag wrapper. And of course I tried to use some of the maps of the area as background. Found an awesome, they had a set of vintage books out at this thrifting store. I grabbed one without a binding because I knew it was going to tear it apart. From the Dickinson College Library, but I am fascinated by this. Notes and Queries, a medium of intercommunication for literary men, artists, and antiquaries, genealogists, etc. When found, comma, make a note of, said by Captain Cuddle. Anyhow, it's just like the Twitter of 1855. All these little notes and posts of things that are going on. And they had a series of these, but they were selling them separately. And I couldn't help. I love it. Anyway. I know you enjoyed that distraction as much as I did. It is falling apart, but that's quite all right because I'm using the pieces. And I say that because I created a pocket here with one of those pages, covered it over with this out of the Lancaster magazine, and just created a pocket. I love that I can use different sizes of paper, so you can kind of see that this is a little excursion in the middle of the big pages. Just journaling, sharing some more finds from thrifting, more tea bag wrappers, Christmas exchanges and the haul. Used the magazine. So down in Lancaster, right, you experience the buggies. And there was a how to safely pass a buggy in the Lancaster magazine. So I took that out and used the map to create another pocket. The ribbon here is from the gift exchange. So I used that. So I stapled it in the back, put the stuff in so I knew how much I would need. And then I can show you here. I can undo the ribbon, the bow. This is what I did. Let me zoom in again. So I found the word Lancaster out of the magazine and I cut it out. And I took a piece of cardstock, not too thick, it was thin, and glued the word Lancaster on top of this cardstock. And only glued the left and right side of it onto the page so that if you want to, you can see this how to safely pass a buggy. But then you can also tuck the ribbon under here and tie a bow, which I may do later rather than here on camera. I don't know. Let's see. Trying to make it nice and neat and pretty. Come on. I know you get in there. Yeah. So it created a pocket, a way to keep the stuff from falling out. I have the ribbon to remember, the cute bow. I like that addition. Backing out, backing out. All the business cards from our little excursion and a picture of the top half of this postal sorting desk shoved in my van with all the other bags and pillows from my day trip camper van around it to protect it, to bring it home. It's not set up yet because I have to empty out that room where my husband slept with the hospital bed. The current medical equipment warehouse is what I've been calling it. Again, doing a little waterfall of business cards. My sister did most of her Christmas gifts with local artists and then shared their business cards. I think that's fabulous. Just some washi tape with a little glue on there because the washi tape otherwise won't hold it. How fun. My grandson, he has made Christmas cards over the years and sold them, learning how to create something and to learn the business end of it. And I really enjoyed this year's. I wanted to show this off because he's practicing his penmanship. He did this. Didn't he do a great job? I love that he's into this. His sister is into crocheting. But I like remembering wrapping paper. So I covered his envelope with scraps from the wrapping paper, and this is a piece of the bow that they had tied my gift. The tag. When they came to visit, my granddaughter loved sitting at the desk, and I gave her things to color and took out some of my markers. She enjoyed that. But here's the card that my grandson made. They scanned it in after he did his watercolor, and then for texture did a spritz of white acrylic paint. So the snow on him is dimensional. But how cute is this, right? I'm sure he did a series of them. They're both very creative, the grandchildren. So I just took the envelope, hole punched it on the end here, again covered it with wrapping paper for the memory, including This is the bows that I made to add to gifts. So I stapled that in there for some texture. And that brings you up to speed to where you and I started. So I think I'm going to call it. This video is long enough at this point. Sorry, I keep hitting the microwave, the microphone. Again, you're along for the journey as this all gets sorted out. But look at that. I have a Gratitude Sunday now uploaded and out there to share. So I'm back in the groove. God willing, and the creeks don't rise, as they say. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you for sticking around. And I look forward to doing more projects with you and more shares. Please, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down there. I enjoy interacting, and it's always good to know that you're out there. All right. Laugh at life, laugh a lot, stay strong. See you soon.